Hello YouTube, HP Zeta here again, and it's been a while. I mean, I did the, what was it, Iron Fury stream a few weeks ago, and I haven't been online since, and it's been a bit quiet. But a lot has changed, and I thought I'll just do an update video before things change even more. Yeah, so here I am. I just quickly want to get a few things off my chest. We are going to play some Minecraft directly afterwards. I just want to show you a friend of mine's server and what I've been doing and that sort of stuff, just to make this a little bit more interesting. So it's not just me staring at the camera and talking. So as many of you have known, for about over a year now, my PC, my main PC, the one I'm using right now for streaming, has been, it has been dying. I just want to see if I can get CPU-Z up here, and then we'll go over the current specs and its current things, why I'm saying it's dying. So yeah, you just have to take my word for it, and yeah, and that's going to change fairly soon. Okay, so I'm going to switch it over here to, I'm just going to do that so we don't spoil, well, it's semi-spoil the surprise anyway. You can read the title. But let's go over here to the second screen, shall we? So I built this computer in 2016, if I remember correctly, so it's 3 years old. Back when I built it, it wasn't the newest. It's basically a Sandy Bridge Ryzen, so it's Intel Xeon E3 1230. This is a fantastic actual CPU, except for when I'm doing live stream. So remember, now we're doing a very basic live stream. We're not doing anything major on here at all. And I just want to go here to performance. And you can see, just by doing this very basic live stream, and I don't have anything else open that's really taking resources. So if I was playing like an intensive game like Doom 2016, you'll see that my CPU utilization would jump sky high, and it'll actually hit 100%. And that's been okay-ish to stream. It hasn't caused me any problems. And now that we've got the podcast, this little Xeon just can't do it. We have multiple 1080p video encode, streams that's incoming that needs to re-encode and transcode to different formats. And I do have GPU assisted rendering installed, and that just doesn't help at all. But let's quickly go over what the specs are. This is just to show you the first little problem that I've got. So I said Intel Xeon D3. So it's a 4-core, 8-thread Sandy Bridge. So it's basically the same as i7 2700, except you can't overclock it at all. And the clock speed is quite a bit less than what you would normally expect a system like that to run. It only has a little 80 watt TDP, so it is fairly energy efficient. RAM is, here you can see the first problem. The one RAM socket on this board isn't 100%. I probably have to clean it, but at the time I was just like, screw it. And I took out, it has two 8GB DIMMs, and I took it out of the one socket, stuck it in the other, and I've been running it like that for the last 3-4 months. Surprisingly, that didn't have much of a performance impact at all, running the RAM at single channel and much slower. But yeah, you can see that that's what I've got here. The main board was ASRock Z33 Pro 3, which, considering the age of this board, it's fantastic that it's lasted this long. And just a correction, I said just now I got it 3 years ago. We're in 2019 now, that's not correct. So I got this about 4 to 5 years ago. This system, I built it. So it has some age, and for this board to last like 5 years, You see that's the BIOS date is 2012. I think that this is the last revision of the BIOS that came out for this board. So yeah, the BIOS itself is what, 7 years old by now. But I basically got the CPU for cheap. So that's the two problems: is some RAM is failing and the system just live streaming. It's not fast at all. Graphics card, that's the next thing I need to save up and upgrade, and that is a NVIDIA GeForce GTX 960. Not TI or anything, just a 960 standard. And I think this was Biostar or one other Chinese brand GPU, but it's been good. This I actually got after upgrading the system. I think the graphics card is about 3 years now, because I got this when I just moved down to Durban. So that's about 3 years old, and it's starting to show its age. Okay, so let's go back here to full screen camera. And yeah, the other thing that you'll notice with the camera is the resolution constantly isn't correct, and it's constantly losing settings and things, which I'm hoping a clean install of Windows 10 will solve that. So yeah, that's the little system I've been running for 4 to 5 years, doing all my stuff, and it's shown its age. And I've been saving up for a year to actually do it properly this time around. I'm not going to cut corners like what I did with Fear when I got the Xeon, which I literally just cut a corner to actually get the Xeon in here, because I kind of had to find someone that somehow, I think these might have even fallen off a truck, but it was like $2,000 at the time for the Xeon, and a used Core i7 2700K, if you bought it on the used market, was like 3.5. So at that stage I just went bargain, and I bought it. I did a lot of research to find a chipset that supports the CPU, because not all of them do. And I landed up with the Z33. I did some more research, and I got the Pro free. And I think back then, everything I spent on this upgrade was about 5,000 Rand. So not a lot of money, okay, so to speak. But anyway, so I've been saving up for a year. Second thing happened is, since the demonetization of YouTube, I finally now got remonetized. I got my first check. I got 1,000 Rand from YouTube. And the third thing that happened is my good friend Evert, who's my only Patreon at the moment. Guys, please, if you want to support this channel, support what I do, please consider becoming a Patreon. It's links are probably not in the description at the moment, but I'll add them afterwards in the video. Please consider it. But anyway, Evert, I took the Patreon money. The first thing that with Evert's money, I was actually, I think I bought the mic, and he paid for the webcam as well a little bit. But I let that like get saved in like for a year, and that was about 1,300 Rand. So 2,300 is what I actually got given by YouTube. But I need to do this upgrade so that we can do the podcasts. So I added some of my money back into it, and what I ended up getting, which I'm a bit upset with this company, I'll show you now. But I contacted all of the distributors directly. I got quotes, and I couldn't match this price. They say the discount is 2,000 Rand. No, it's about 1,000 if you go and buy it from the distributors directly. Compared to what they're selling for, it's still 1,000 Rand cheaper. I have no idea how they're doing that. It could be that grey stock, especially the Ryzen CPUs, I've got a feeling that they're self-importing. But what this is AMD Ryzen 5 3600. So I did research, and this is in like between i5 and AMD Ryzen 5 for video production and that sort of stuff. This is the CPU to get. Apparently this is the fastest one that's available, okay, in that series, of course. Then it comes with the MSI X470 Pro. Did a little bit of research on this as well. It's X470. It's not the 570 series, which is actually supposed to be for this third gen CPU, but that's probably why it's a bit cheaper. Maybe they went to suppliers and said, okay, give me discounts and we'll do it. But I did actually compare this exact board with the other one, but it's still cheaper. 16 gigabytes of RGB RAM, and let's talk about RGB. I'm going to use my old case. Okay, I'm not going to spend money on a case. I don't have money to spend money on a case. In fact, today, I haven't even got this stuff yet. I'm expecting it Monday, Tuesday. But today, I'm going to strip this computer, and I'm literally going to take the case after everything's removed, and I'm going to wash it off and remove all the air filters. This thing is 4 to 5 years old, possibly more, and it just needs an overhaul. Okay, it needs to be completely redone. And what's nice here is the motherboard has next to no RGB, so I'm not wasting money on RGB. Okay, I'm not wasting money on RAM RGB. Okay, so far this is a good fit for what I need. Okay, yada 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 yada. The memory as well is a 3200 megahertz kit. Linus did a video on where they compared core megahertz to all of that, and even though the actual timings on this memory sucks, 3200 is where they said you should try and be with some tight timings. I don't have the tight timings, but I can't afford that, so that's fine. You get a Wraith CPU cooler. I'm really going to try and see if I can stick my my old Thermalright HFS onto this, hopefully. HSF, sorry, heatsink fan on here. Hopefully it'll work. I don't want to spend more money on the next cooler because I need this to turbo up to its maximum. And you get a mouse pad, and yeah, this is going to be the new system. I'm probably going to do a video of a time lapse. I'm not sure yet if it's going to be disassembling this PC, reassembling it, or what, but there's probably going to be a video of that. I noticed that this does have an extra what's an open at the bottom there. I don't know if I've got that to fit in, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. If I need to get another power supply in, then I need to get another power supply. This power supply isn't that old. It's only 2 years old. Yeah, it's not that old. It's only 2 years old. Yeah, and with modern PC components, that's an eternity. So yeah, it supports RGB. I really don't care for RGB. My case doesn't even have a window, so who cares? And yeah, I'm a bit upset with this company because initially... okay, that's a thing. Are you gonna... yeah, there we go. So initially I was going to go for something like this, and unfortunately they didn't have this on the site. I also would have gone for it, and I could have used that money for an SSD or whatever. But let's go here, Ryzen 5 upgrade kits. Now this wasn't listed on the site when I checked earlier. So yeah, Ryzen 5 3600 B450 Pro M2 Max 8GB. Okay, so it has half the memory. There's a 16 gigabyte, but that's with a G. But still, this would have saved me $1,500. I would have probably gone for that. But now that I see it's only 8 gig of RAM, I don't feel as bad. But still, this wasn't listed on the site. And it's also 2600. So I'm getting more performance for the extra 1,500 Rand, which I don't have. And then that's a mini ATX board. But I still got the capture card in there. Only 2 RAM slots. Yeah, this is a very cheap board, so I'm feeling a little bit better now. But nonetheless, so yeah, expect a video of me upgrading the system. I mean, that's coming. That's coming soon. I'm just going to check here that the stream is still functioning, because YouTube changed the way that their streaming works. I had to disassociate, restream, and reassociate it. Why? Nobody knows. So this isn't perfect. I mean, it's not where I need to be in a good place. For instance, let's see if I can show you quickly what my SSD is. Okay, second screen. For instance, on my SSD is, and I bought this without doing any research, and it's 100% on me for not doing research. But yeah, so I've got OCZ Treon 100 and it's a piece of crap. Wrong one. I just want to do Edge so you guys can't see my favorites. Oh god, it's going to use Bing. Oh. That's the one I want. And I want all videos, I don't want the video review. Let's go Tom's Hardware. So yeah, this is from 2015. And the worst thing is I bought this SSD after I did the main upgrade to the system. I bought this SSD 3 years ago. So it was discontinued back then because OCZ went bankrupt. Okay, pricing warranty, closer look. So bear in mind this review is from 2015. Okay, and the red there is it. So it's like not the slowest of the slow, but yeah, you can see there this actually is like 500 megabits per second. Megabytes per second. Sequential write is bad, and then 4K it does the same as everyone else. And I mean, just look at that. It's slow, it's janky. So I'm hoping that the end of the year, there's two things I want to buy with my bonus. Number one is I want to get a graphics card, and according to my research, the 580 is more or less where I should focus on. But I see that there was a special on 580s where it was like 2,000 Rand, and that special is gone. Then also I need to get the SSD upgraded. So let's just first go to graphics cards, ATI Radeon graphics card. You know, I can't afford a 5700. If I do have that sort of money to blow, I would go NVIDIA. They actually sold out of the 580s. Let's try Takealot. No, let's try Woot. Woot is a bit cheaper, I think. Just want to make sure this Woot is the website first. Okay, ATI-RX 580. So that's like $5,000. They were clearing these out at some point for 2,000 Rand, not too long ago. Now that's, yeah, I can't afford that. And for that price, it's not fast enough. So I'll have to go into NVIDIA. My budget is about 2,000 to 3,000. So let's see what sort of graphics cards, because they've got a better selection. See, 570s are now 2,000 Rand, which is still not a bad card. I might actually get one of those. But let's dial in this and just go, my budget is between, why am I using sliders? 2,000 to 3,500. Very narrow budget. So I can get a 1650, that's completely useless. Oh, here's a RX 580, 3399, that's not bad. 1650 again, which I won't get. 1060 is not a bad graphics card, but they're out of stock. 1650 once again. $560. 1060 out of stock. 516. So all of these are, there's just not much in terms of graphics cards that you can get for that sort of budget. So I might have to scamper the used market and see what's there. I think that's not a bad idea to do that. And yeah, but let's just go back to this and just go GeForce. Wow, NVIDIA has racked up the prices of their GeForce cards. I mean, yeah, I can go for 24,000 for a 2080 Ti. Who has that sort of disposable income where they can just go, yeah, I need a 2080. I'm going to spend 24,000 on one of those. 5,000. What a gap! You get from. Yeah, you see a 1660 is 3,999 Rand. What the hell is NVIDIA thinking? 4 grand for a 1660. I don't know what I'm going to do with graphics cards. But yeah. And the TI version is 5,000 Rand. Okay, but anyway, let's go to something that I do have some budget for. Let's go to SSDs. Solid state drives. Okay, so these, of course, I don't have any budget for those, but about a grand is what I'm prepared to spend, or even 1,500. So, like 500 gig NVMe, 3,500. That's actually fairly good. It's HP as well. I don't know how good their stuff is, but that's a good throughput. The question is, does it have cache on board? And if it doesn't have cache, then yeah. But I'll have to read some reviews on that. Here's another one. 3,200 read. Okay, 1,600 megabytes. 1,399. You see, that's a good investment. And I'll probably end up getting one of those. Here's one that's a bit slower, 2,100 and 1,500. Still miles faster than what I've got currently, but I'll rather spend 300 Rand more and get this one here. Because with the video editing and with live streaming especially, it does hammer the hard drive quite a bit. Because we've got so many 1080p streams that we're doing simultaneously. So yeah, that's basically my plan. That's my vision. That's what I want to do. That's 1 year from now. I'm not making any money from YouTube. That's enough to do all of this. But I'm hoping by the end of the year I can get those things in. I can have a decent system and I can continue with the live streaming and stuff like that a bit better. Because honestly, CPU intensive games, I can't play any. The newer stuff just wrecks this poor system. It just hits it. Doom 2016 was the last game I could actually get away with doing that. Not to mention this 960 isn't great anymore. But yeah, let's move this here so that I can get some streaming done. And this is basically what I've been playing quite a bit of. And I'm going to switch it over to game full screen. Okay, before we do that, let me just check my stream is still online. No one has watched this yet. YouTube's algorithm really started to suck. It really started to not want to. Oh. Okay, I need to prep this quickly, guys. So I'm just going to go full screen because I don't want you guys to see what server we're playing on just as yet. If you want to join in on this, please let me know, and then I will. Okay, now I just need to add a whole bunch of cash to the screen the whole time, just so you can't see my password. I think that's a no, it's still showing my password. Okay, yeah, that's a bit better. No, that doesn't show it anymore. Okay, now I can switch you guys over. There we go. yeah, so a friend of mine, after I did my live streams, watched the live streams, he's really been wanting to get into, I'm just going to change my game mode to survival. He really wanted to get into Minecraft as well. And he basically set up a little server that we started playing together on. So it's just the two of us. So you can notice that between us, we do allow going into survival and stuff to do, or creative, to do big builds and things, because we just don't have the time. I don't have the 3 or 4 hours needed to actually, well, 3 or 4 hours per day needed to actually do this all in 100% survival. But most of this, I'll show you what builds we've done, and I'll tell you if it's been survival or creative that we built it and why. But yeah, basically this used to be our little world. It was in a desert area, so there was almost no trees. We had to like put trees down and stuff. We did have the Minecraft bug. Oh, there's a cat. We had the Minecraft bug where all of our villagers sort of disappeared. They just literally disappeared, didn't get turned into zombies or anything, so we had to respawn all of the villagers, and that's when we decided, you know what, let's just do creative mode is allowed between us as long as we're not using it to break the gameplay. But yeah, we spawned here. First thing we did is we created this, well, I built this little house here, and you can see my Minecraft level of skill and building sucked. It did get better, I promise. I'll show you now. Okay, so all of this wasn't here quite yet, so we first built this little house. We built a pen there for some horses when we got horses. And it just started off as being like 3 stories high, so we've got my room, crafting table, some stuff in there. My friend's room, close his door. Of course, his room is full of cats. Okay, that teleports you somewhere. I'm not gonna spoil that quite yet. But yeah, we built this, we survived. We expanded it, we built this underground place to house all of the dogs. We built a place here to... Most of this was done in survival. So there's our crafting little section here. My friend really wanted to get ready with enchanting. That's why we built this enchanting room here. And of course you can do trades and stuff here. You can also grab villages from inside the village, etc. It's quite cool. This was great. We started exploring maps to like find sunken ships and treasure and stuff, and that was awesome. Do have some lag because I'm streaming this as well simultaneously, and this game really needs stuff to occur. So the next thing that we actually built, because he had some time, he was on leave, so he kind of built a thing here to slaughter sheep. So you've got your sheep here. Okay, so first thing, you can shear your sheep. There we go. Collect all of that juicy wool. Okay, lower sheep fence. So there the sheep can actually walk in if you have some hay, which I don't have at the moment. But you get the idea. They can walk in there. Open death trap. The button is missing. I'll have to find out. But that basically opens these pistons at the bottom. And then that like lets you slaughter sheep and you can get food from that. But it's a very slow source of food for us because we were doing a lot of exploring. So he started building a little world map because he had some off time at work, so he was heavily exploring. So this was built in creative, and you can see where we've explored. You can also see we've got a KFC, which is fantastic. So I'm just going to grab some chickens here. There's teleports at the bottom. I'm not going to get into that quite yet. But if you go this side round, you did a fantastic job with this build. Here's our chickens. They lay egg. At the bottom there's like a little bit of lava. The eggs get dispensed. Once they're dispensed, the chicken forms, and then if the chicken grows up, it lands in lava, and then it turns into KFC. So yeah, that was his build that he did there, which is infinitely useful, because suddenly now we don't have any sort of problem with food anymore. Next thing he built was this little railway system. This was done in creative, if I'm not mistaken. So this is AFK fishing. So you basically take your fishing rod, stand here, okay, stand a little bit further back, and then if you right click, I need to stand a bit closer. Right there we go. So if you hold down right click and you can put something on your mouse, it'll keep on fishing here, and then you'll get a whole bunch of awesome resources. So the resources fall down that little hopper there and gets placed nicely. Here is an overflow dispenser, and it all gets placed in here, all of the resources that you can obtain from fishing. Speaking of, I'm gonna need, okay, there's no lane name tags in there. We probably moved those out to our main sorting area already. But you can see you can get like enchantments and books and fishing rods and all sorts of stuff. Don't want to lose my fishing rod. There we go. And with all of that sorted, we could finally start doing awesome things. So what we started doing is, enchanting weapons. I still need to do my diamond armor. I've got enough diamonds. I'm just working on getting enough books and stuff to actually upgrade it the way I want to. So the fishing rod that I eventually constructed for myself has Luck of the Sea, Lure 2, Mending, and Unbreaking. I think he actually gave me this one, so I didn't construct this one, but I did do my pickaxe. My pickaxe is Efficiency 4, Mending, and Unbreaking. I want to get luck on there and a few other things still. The sword, this is actually my second sword. My other sword completely broke, but I'm calling this one FU. So fire aspect 2, mending, sharpness 3, sweeping edge 3, and unbreaking 3. It's a mean sword. Oh, and finally the bow is even meaner. It has flame, mending, power 4, unbreaking 3. So we started like creating those. So mobs in the game, they're not an issue anymore. So yeah, he built this little section here. That was all his. I'm not going to show you his base because I think that's going to be a bit private, but I'll show you some of the other things I built. And the more epic stuff that I've built, I'm going to leave it for last. Because of course. I should really go rest because I haven't rested in a while. So this is a little thing I built. Did use creative on this, but you can actually build these without creative nonetheless. Just to save time, because doing this in survival would have been a pain in the backside. You can guess it, my friend actually built the sorting system for this and it's fairly epic. But if you go down here, This is 2 bedrock, so it's the lowest point in the game. You've got an AFK fishing station that you can like fish on. But not just that. You can hear on the side there, we've got some skeletons spawning. So let's just leave this for a minute or two, just get a few skeletons. Okay, I think I heard one here. No, not yet. Come on. There we go. So you stand there, skeleton spawn, and you do AFK fishing simultaneously. You can even flip the switch here, and then they won't die, but you have to like stand here and mash them, get experience. But yeah, getting this to work, to have 2 blocks in 2 different states in Minecraft is an absolute pain. But you can hear clicking, and then all of that stuff nicely comes here. Infinite arrows, that's why I don't have infinite on my bow, or rather mending, because I have an infinite supply of arrows. Bones. At the back here there's a whole bunch of chests all the way up, also doing both of those, so we've got way more bones. And here's all of the AFK fishing stuff that I've acquired. Lots and lots of awesome bows and stuff like that. You'll notice the books I've taken out of there, because they're useful. Let's get back in, go back up. Hopefully it's night time. I need to go sleep because I haven't slept in a while. I was busy setting things up with the game open, so hopefully I'm not going to get bothered by those flying things. We do have a beacon in here as well, just to make our lives a little bit easier. Really need to get some sleep, because I'm in survival mode and I don't want to die. Okay, so that was my little added thing on there, and we really needed to get it working. Just to show you how it works quickly. Let's go to spectator. Serious? Serious? Should have known that was coming. I'll have to ask my friend, tell my friend, really sorry about that, but I broke your clock. Creeper spawned right next to me. Okay, so how this works is we didn't want to, well, we found a lot of them, but they were all in inconvenient places. So there's a sorting system. But if you go down, where is it? There we go. In here, I don't know if you'll see, but we've got a sporting cube, a little skeleton sporting cube. Ah, Victor said clock is fine. Well, the cactus broke off of it. That's my friend on the chat. No idea. He's probably just used Discord because we've got the chat link to Discord. But yeah, that cactus blew up. Can you believe it? Anyway, so yeah, we just put a skeleton sporting cube there. You can actually do that in a cave if you find one. I didn't find one, so yeah. Well, we found lots, but we didn't find any that was in good locations. So that's about this base sorted out. That's about everything this base has to offer, except for the teleport system. So if you go down, So a friend of mine did a huge amount of teleporting. So as I said before, I'm not going to show his base because I don't know if he wants to have it done. So he did a huge amount of exploring. So he explored it over the maps using horse, and he set up several teleports all over the place. And I'm just going to show you the more interesting two of these. Because let's face it, if you guys want to join at some point, you can have a look and see for yourself. So the first one, and this is mostly my build, except for the railroad system. That's a friend of mine did that. He did a fantastic job. Well, my friend did that. It's not a friend of mine. So he built this. It's freaking awesome. And now this build took me a week. It was literally an hour or two every day for like a week to build. I'm still not finished with it. I still need to do a lot of decorating and stuff, but I'm happy with it. So it's at a point where everything works. And basically what I wanted, okay, that dropped in there, which is good. Oh, there's an experience point. Something died there. So here is my build. It's awesome. It's a castle. So the idea behind this was I wanted an artificial village because our stuff kept on. Well, there was the villages that kept on disappearing. They're not doing that anymore. It was probably fixed in a patch or something. But I wanted an artificial village where I can control what jobs the villagers had, what they had for trading, all of that sort of stuff. And I ended up with this giant, huge castle. I'm not gonna lie, a lot of this was actually built using creative. But I made sure that all of these resources we've actually got, and we could have built this without creative, but anyway. So you come in here, awesome piston door. You've got your villagers, we've got the rubbish fisherman there. I should really stick a name tag on him because he uses the trash dispenser for his fishing. Got an armorer. There's fishing and enchantments, potions. I do need to put a little board up for him for potions. Here is cartographer. I think it's Leatherworks this. Here's our smith, he does like tools and stuff. You are a stonemason. So all of these you can actually go up and they've got their beds there. Like you can see it's very sparse. I need to do decoration still for all of this. Here we've got the guy that makes all the fabrics. He does a fairly good job. And we've got some empty homes that we still, as the updates roll out for Minecraft, we'll add them. My bedroom, his bedroom. And villagers are fairly stupid. They can find their way up to something and not find their way down. That's why I had to like separate them off. Oh no, let's show the fishing first. Let me show off the fishing because that's fairly grand up there. So let's go this way. Don't know why I can hear a zombie from here. I shouldn't be able to. Oh, it's probably underground, but that's fine. Okay, so here we've got quite a few beds. It's because quite a few people sleep here. The fisherman is one thing that didn't want to find down to the actual base. So all of these are fishermen with barrels. So yeah, they're fairly useful to some extent. Let's go up here. So we've got some more little tiny beds. And here's the farming section. So these guys actually reasonably well pathfind back into their beds on the other side. And you can see that's the opposite side of the fishing area. Because the fishing guys just didn't pathfind at all. So I decided just to build a wall here and separate them. Grow lights, so yeah, this is legit. Because our civilization, our castle, has been here so long that they they technologically found ways to improve things. Oh, guys love each other, then hate each other. Okay, well that's your problem. So they started building like grow lights and stuff. Grow lights, LED lights. Here's more of the actual farming. Lots and lots of wheat, because wheat is fairly useful. And these guys actually do put down hay bales here on their own accord. I just added like 2 of them. They added the rest. There's some more beds in here for them. So this floor basically is our big cryogenics. It's a cryogenics lab. Well, I think it's cryogenics, what you're supposed to call it. Whatever. Okay. Go up 1 more level. We've got cows. Lots of wolves. So if you want to come here and tame a wolf, you've got lots and lots to choose from. In fact, I'll introduce you to Dum just now. But I think I took away his thing. And then finally, the thing that I like the most is we've got foxes. So these foxes are fairly cute. I love the foxes in Minecraft. The foxes are awesome. So you can feed them. Ooh. Yeah, I didn't want to plant a berry bush, but we'll just break that one down. Every so often they'll come and run around the berry bush and grab the berries they want. They're all tamed to an extent that they don't mind humans, which is awesome. You can even throw down berries. Let's try that somewhere else. Okay, you're not going to run out, are you? But if you throw down berries, they'll basically pick it up. And they'll have like berries in their mouth for little bits, and then they'll bite them and then eat them. It's the cutest thing ever. This is probably the best thing in Minecraft for me at the moment. Foxes. So it's evening now, so I can show you what it looks like in the evening. But I'll first show you the last little part of it. You heard the little jingle there. My friend that's so good with redstone made that. With a day-night sensor, so if it gets night, it plays a little jingle. We've got pigs, lots and lots of pigs. Not as useful, I wish they were more useful. Then we've got sheep of all different shades and colors. One villager that doesn't have a job yet. You need a job. Go out into the world, go find a job. Okay, and then here's the smoke room. So we've got 2 smokers. They've got their little thing there to start cooking. They've got 2 smokers on the side. That's fairly awesome. Most of the villagers pathfind to a bed, but I see like that one, which I presume is they had a kid, and then that guy just never decided to work. He's lazy. Okay, go downstairs. This is fairly awesome. Like I said, most of them do pathfind. Some of them not so well. But you'll go up and you'll find his bed to go to sleep. Let's go get some sleep as well. Get back into daylight. And yeah, you saw my room wasn't like, doesn't have anything, but we've got like, because I need to finish the decoration in this place. I need to add more mossy stone and stuff to differentiate it. But that's about all of the features of this place, and it's freaking awesome. I'm still not done with it. I'm far from done with this place. But it's its own like artificial village. That's a castle. And you've got Dum always like sits on top of the lantern. You'll move him off, then he'll move back on. He likes sitting on top of the lantern apparently. I've actually like removed him and put him right opposite end of the map, and he, whatever reason, bug or otherwise, he finds a way to go and sit on the lantern, which kind of sucks. We have some cats here to keep the creepers away. Let's eat some berries, and then I'll show you what the next stage of this is going to be. Okay, let's. Okay. So the next stage is a whole bunch of redstone in these towers. I want to do automated chicken farm on top of this one because it just makes sense, because there's chickens at the bottom. That'll dispense somewhere here or something like that. Haven't decided about the other towers yet. I think I might actually do like 2 of these as watchtowers, so you can like walk up and check things out. Top, you can actually walk on. More than enough light so that nothing spawns here. And you can see the villagers just going about their day, waking up in the mornings. Like all of them like gather here to gossip there by the bell. So it's fairly awesome. And this is going to be the darker area. This is the zombie. That's where the zombie is. And a skeleton. Lots of creepers. Ooh. Those are dangerous. So I need to do something about that. But yeah. Here I'm going to start building contraptions and stuff. I want to get like a railroad system that goes up, so that you could swap villagers from here, zombify them at the bottom, send them back up, so that you get discounts, which is kind of awesome. Here's the redstone for the contraption for the door, and there's a lovely cave system here that you can use for mining. So that's just the second stage of this design. Is going to be getting that bottom thing working and then decorating the actual castle. I did start putting like mossy and cracked stone in random places, but so far it's a bit too clean still. It needs a little bit more, you know, just to differentiate it. But I'm really loving this castle. This was my first like major project in Minecraft. Before, when I used to play like single player, I never did major project because, well, I couldn't. But yeah, I'm really enjoying this. Oh, and also there's a little marina I built at the bottom, so you can go here, grab a boat, set sail. You know, every sort of base needs a little marina area. Kind of looks cool. So let's go back. We'll do survival for now because it might end up in disaster, but I'll see. Go back to our teleports. Oh yeah, I need to show you my secondary base quickly, and then we'll get to the grand end of it. So this is the second base. This is the base that I built right after I built that one before I built the castle. I got a bit carried away. I think it was in the jungle area. Let's see. Yes. You can see still my construction still kind of sucked. At this stage, we were having a lot of issues with raiders and woodsmen. They would like follow me here. And initially, especially with the raiders, you can't kill a bannerman without setting off, because my house is so close to the village, without setting off a raid. So I built this. Press that. Lava. So if they follow you here, you just like open the floodgates, they fall in, they die. Smelting area, bedroom with a table that I need to redo because I still use trapdoors for the table lid. I should use carpet. Friend's place he hasn't built in here is a lovely outside area. I'm gonna show you guys from outside what this looks like. This is going to be storage. Never finished all of that. And then this needs a lot of texture and a lot of work, you know. But yeah, this is my second base, and this is also where I'm going to be strip farming or strip mining the bottom of shortly. So I just thought that's worth a mention because that's not that grand. It's fairly terrible. Okay, and then the first major undertaking that I did in terms of building something awesome is this, and I'm so proud of this. Okay, oh no, that's still going to be castle, that's the wrong place. It's this one. You can hear all of the KFC working in the background. Okay, it's almost night. Be careful where you step. So I need to wait until it's like daylight again. It's almost night. And then we'll go off. That pressure plate isn't open for very long. But anyway. So all of the teleports basically, I've rebuilt these. So you've got a bed and some necessities. There's a little village over there. We'll go check out the village while we wait for it to get dark. So there's a little village here. Some horses and stuff. Come on. Nah, come on. Don't stare at the sun, kids. You'll go blind. That really should be a mechanic that they should add. If you look into the sun for too long, you get blindness for a few seconds. There we go. Before this, you have to grab a boat. And this is what I've been busy with this week. Two big floating things on top there. What are they? So unfortunately, the marina I built the wrong side. I should really swap that out so it's the opposite side, but that's not an issue. So you see two things there, and now you take the bubble elevator up. I really love the sound effects. It really has this creepy sound effect if you come here and you just see this giant creeper head. Ignore the teleport block on top, that's going to go away. So once again, AFK fishing here, so you can, to your heart's content, do some AFK fishing. And then if you open this up, it's just gunpowder. Lots and lots of gunpowder. So this is at 30. So now if you look down there closely, you should see my terrible redstone work. So my clock should initialize any second now. There we go. You can see something fell down into a fire there. And there the clock initializes, pushes something out. So we add 30 in there, and that should turn into 31 very soon. There we go, 32. So yeah, stuff is happening down there. And it's happening at a normal interval. This is still not complete, and I'll show you the problems just now. We'll go into spectator and then creative. But let's wait a few seconds, make sure that that's filled up. So if you haven't guessed it already, this is a creeper farm. And it's basically constantly generating creepers who's falling in the fire, dying, items are getting transported down and up and into this chest. So you can mine creepers while simultaneously fishing. Tons of awesome books I've already acquired and stuff. But yeah, that's the general idea. Is here we go. We've already mined 20 gunpowder in like 5 minutes. Which kind of sucks. It means that they might not be. Okay, I'll show you how this works quickly. There isn't much light in there, so I'm hoping that you guys can see. So before I show you how that works, well, I can show you how that works now. So you've got creepers, they die, hoppers go, it loads in the dispenser. Dispenser outputs a redstone signal that I had to like boost, so to make sure that it's like instant instead of when it's full. That then goes around, and that goes into a piston that pushes 2 observers together into a clock that goes into the dispenser that pushes out all of the things that's dispensed. Gunpowder in this case, it goes down over into here, bubble elevator up and into the chest on top. Now, how this works is actually quite ingenious. Oh, I can't see nothing. It's too dark. So make sure that I'm about center with that, and we'll go into creative mode, and I'll just use a torch. That's right. And by the way, this is a feature I only figured out recently you can actually do. Here we go. So you can see lots of creepers falling in. So basically what this is a whole bunch of trapdoors. And the trapdoor distance between this block and the one on top is exactly the size of a creeper. So the only thing that can spawn here is creepers and spiders. And then what you do is you put down rugs to stop spiders from spawning. They can't spawn anymore because there's rugs, because a spider needs 2 blocks. Any direction that's like next to each other. That's like 4 blocks. It needs, and you can see that none of these are 4 blocks wide. So the only thing that can spawn here is creepers. Spectator. And because we're so far away from any other land and we're so high up, there's no other place for them to spawn other than in my box. And because this was a box, I just thought it's appropriate to have something that's a bit fun. So, creeper head. Creepers getting spawned in the giant creeper head. And of course you have to AFK somewhere, so you actually AFK in the player character. So I just thought that was fun. You'll see there's a bunch of cats on top. These cats, I need to relocate them so that each one of these is in a corner at the bottom to chase the creepers in a bit more efficiently, because at the moment it very much heavily relies on the creepers pathfinding. Because there's trapdoors in between each platform, the creepers think it's a solid platform and they try to get from platform A to platform B, and they just fall through into a water stream. Water stream pushes them out, pushes them in here, and then, as I described earlier, it's just a bunch of hoppers that then takes the items, pushes it into a dispenser. Dispenser output goes around, pushes a piston. Piston moves to observers next to each other as a clock, and then that initializes the dispenser. All of these, this gunpowder comes up. Now this took me about 6 to 8, no, I'll say about 10 hours, because I did finish it yesterday, and the decoration was most of the time spent was actually just decorating. And there's some blocks are illuminated, some aren't. The idea was I wanted to make it look like the creeper is about to explode. Face I couldn't illuminate because there's space there for it, but I can't, like, it'll look weird, the black sections and the white sections, etc. I might do some of the colored sections, add some stone in there, but I don't think it'll come across as well. But yeah, I knew this was awesome the moment I actually went through the teleport for the first time and saw for myself that, hey, this looks like a creeper, because I actually thought, oh, there's a creeper. Oh no, it's not a creeper, it's spawned on the water farm, it's my contraption. I hate the fact that I can't auto-complete. You have to, like, click. But yeah, bubble elevator works, and you get this awesome reveal. It reminds me of Bioshock. I go in the water and you just get this review of, oh, there's something weird here. Of course there's a bed here to sleep, but I want to show you what it looks like in the evening. I'm just show you down elevator works as well. Even in survival, there's actually the little bubbles give you oxygen, so you can stay in here technically forever, as long as you can swim, you know. And I love the deep underwater sound effects as well. It makes it sound extremely creepy. This thing that shouldn't exist exists. And you'll notice there's a wood door here because if anything spawns, they can't get in just by opening the door. But there's a proper metal trap door there. I should actually, instead of having a plate, I should have a button on that trap door. But I'll add that later. Just this grand creeper reveal. That's just awesome. And let's wait for night. Let's get a few more. So the ideal location for spawning is actually these 4 red blocks here when I did the calculation. So if you stand right here, it's actually the ideal position to spawn creepers. They spawn on all 4 floors and a lot of them spawn in. The only problem so far is that pathfinding issue. And yeah, that's been all Minecraft. If you guys want to join the server, just drop me on Twitter, DM and say, oh, I'd like to join. We just need to check that you're not a griefer, and I'll send you the details on how to join. I mean, yeah, it's an awesome server, and if you can do like awesome builds and stuff on here, all the better, you know. We still want to get like a witch farm going. That's going to be a big one. We're still looking for a location, a witch hut. But you can see there's my little contraption working. Let's wait for midnight and then I'll go out and show you what this looks like in the dark. Oh, and of course, old trick. Sea lanterns, you put like a rug on top, but it still like illuminates through the rug, so the whole room is fully illuminated. It looks awesome. And that will just keep on whirring away. There's a torch I took out earlier. Yeah. So at night, unfortunately, this front face doesn't illuminate well, but the sides looks like a charged creeper or a creeper about to explode, which I like. And of course, the redstone. There was a bug where the one observer got stuck beside and the sticky piston didn't grab him. I have no idea why. That's why I added like blocks around, because maybe it was a friction thing. So yeah, I added that. But you'll see inside. Well, you won't see inside due to the terrible lighting. But basically, there is going to be more creepers in there. They just don't have a way out. You have to wait for them to pathfind to actually get out, to get through there. But I'm really proud of this build. Yeah, so yeah, that's all from me, HP Zeta. I'm going to end the stream here. Go back into survival. Get some sleep. And I didn't see any comments. I don't think anyone is really watching on YouTube. 2 people. Twitch is working. Twitch is actually faster than YouTube, as always. Bitrate is nice and constant. Yeah. Hey, I wish I could get Twitch to actually take off and add more people on, you know, that would be fantastic. So yeah, that's all from me, HP Zeta. Until next time, cheerio.